All right, let's talk about a really powerful idea. What if? What if you could actually choose to never be bothered by anyone again? Now that sounds impossible, right? But this isn't about trying to change the world around you. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with anger itself. Let's dive in.
You know the feeling. We've all been there. Someone cuts you off in traffic, maybe a coworker makes one of those little sarcastic comments, and bam! Just like that, your whole mood is shot. And that feeling, that lingering frustration, it can poison hours of your time. But what if it didn't have to? Okay, get ready for this, because it's pretty wild. What if I told you that the entire neurological and chemical lifespan of the emotion of anger is just 90 seconds? That's it. A minute and a half, that's all the time it takes for those stress chemicals to naturally flush right out of your system. I know, it seems impossible, right? So, if the actual chemical reaction is over so fast, where does all that lasting anger really come from? Well, that brings us to our first huge idea, what we're gonna call the 90-second illusion. See, that initial flash of anger, that's a real physiological thing. But every single second after that first minute and a half, that's something else entirely. It's a story that we are actively, even if we don't realize it, choosing to keep telling ourselves. So, here's the absolute core of it. The initial trigger, that causes a 90-second chemical rush. But we are the ones who keep it going. And how do we do that? By replaying that story in our heads, rehearsing all the clever comebacks we should have said, reliving the injustice over and over and over again. We're literally feeding the fire long after the original spark has gone out. And this is just a brilliant way to think about it. The source material has this fantastic analogy. The anger, that's just the smoke alarm. It's a signal. But instead of dealing with the source of the smoke, opening a window, we get stuck in this crazy loop, just endlessly making more and more burnt toast, which just keeps setting the alarm off. Okay, so if we're the ones making the burnt toast over and over, why does it feel so much like someone else is pushing the button on the toaster? This leads us to our next big idea, and it tackles a phrase we all use. Oh, they really know how to push my buttons. We're about to completely debunk that whole myth. And this, right here, this captures the whole shift in perspective perfectly. The myth is that other people have some kind of magical remote control for our emotions. But the truth is, they can only activate what's already there. See, they aren't installing the buttons, they're just showing us where our own wiring is already exposed. So what exactly are these buttons? Well, they're basically echoes from our past. They're unhealed emotional wounds or moments when our core values got stepped on. So when a coworker's comment completely sets you off, it might have nothing to do with them. It might be that their tone reminds you of a critical parent or a time you felt rejected. They're just revealing the work that we still have left to do on ourselves. And there's another layer to this. Anger often isn't even the real emotion. Think of it like a big, tough-looking security guard standing in front of much more vulnerable feelings. It feels a lot safer and easier to be angry than it does to admit that you feel hurt or scared or ashamed. So anger steps up to be the spokesperson, but it's rarely the true source of the issue. Okay, so if we're the ones keeping our own anger alive, and our buttons are actually our own responsibility, how do we change any of this? This brings us to the most empowering part of this whole explainer. Discovering the one place where all our freedom is born. It always starts here, right? With a trigger. That passive-aggressive email lands in your inbox. Someone cuts you in line at the store. This is the stimulus. It's an external event, and most of the time, it's completely out of your control. But then, before anything else happens, there's this. A tiny little pause, a microsecond of silence between what happens to you and how you react. This space, this is everything. This is where your superpower actually lies. The thing is, most of us don't even know it's there, so we just blow right past it. And only after that space comes this, your response. And notice, I said response, not reaction. A reaction is automatic. It's a knee-jerk reflex. A response is chosen. And the whole goal here is to widen that little space just enough to turn that unconscious reaction into a conscious choice. And this quote just captures it perfectly. Without being aware of that space, we're basically just pinballs, bouncing chaotically off of other people and whatever life throws at us. But when you learn to find and actually use that space, You become the player. You get to consciously decide your next move. So how do we actually practice this? How do we get better at finding that space and making a different choice? Let's get really practical here and break down a simple 3-part toolkit you can literally start using today. Here's our roadmap. First, we're gonna learn how to observe our emotions without getting totally swept away. Second, we'll learn how to reframe the stories we tell ourselves about difficult people. And third, we'll cover how to set clear, healthy boundaries to protect our own peace. So the first technique is all about creating a little bit of distance. See, inside of you, there is this calm, centered part that can just watch your thoughts and feelings come and go. So instead of thinking, this person is a total idiot, you activate what we'll call your observer self. And you think, I am having the thought that this person is an idiot. That tiny little shift changes everything. You're no longer the anger. You're the one who is watching the anger. Now, this one is a really powerful mental flip. What if that person who drives you absolutely crazy isn't an obstacle, but is actually a personal trainer for your emotional fitness? What if they are perfectly designed to help you strengthen the exact emotional muscles you need to develop, whether that's patience or resilience or confidence? This table makes it super concrete. Just look at that shift. The victim story, they're attacking me, leaves you feeling totally powerless. But the trainer story, they're training my resilience, turns the exact same situation into an opportunity for growth. You go from being a victim of your circumstances to being a student of them. And finally, boundaries. And this isn't about building walls to shut people out, it's about installing gates. And you're the gatekeeper. You get to decide what you let in and what you keep out. It's an assertive, really calm way of protecting your own energy. It's saying something like, I can't discuss this with you when you're yelling, but I'd be happy to talk about it once we're both calm. So, now we have the concepts and we have the tools. But the real key here, just like with any skill, is putting it into practice. This is not about becoming some perfect, emotionless robot. It's about making small, consistent changes that literally rewire your brain over time. So here's your game plan. Don't try to do everything all at once. Just pick one of these techniques, maybe it's the observer self, and just focus on that for 1 week. The next time you feel triggered, just try to notice that 90-second chemical rush. Try to find that tiny little space before you react. That's it. These small acts, that's how real transformation happens. And really, this is the final, most crucial point. You can listen to all of this and think, wow, that's interesting, but nothing changes without application. Every single time you find that space and you choose a different response, you are physically rewiring the neural pathways in your brain. You're building a brand new default setting. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Just imagine it for a second. Imagine moving through your day, through your work, your relationships, with this calm, centered confidence. Who will you become when you finally realize that your inner peace was never theirs to take in the first place? That person is waiting for you.